You're listening to The Mountain Spirit, a podcast of Christian Appalachian Project. Join us as we talk with artists, leaders, and change makers about heritage, hope, culture, and transformation as we celebrate the voices and traditions that shape Appalachia and inspire us all. Can you believe it? We are already at the end of season 9. This is our last episode, and I am really excited to introduce our guest for this season's closer. Today we welcome Shana Miller. She coordinates Steppingstones for Christian Appalachian Project. Y'all know CAP for short, which helps individuals set and achieve transformative life goals through personalized support and community partnerships. Shana meets people where they are with empathy, practical wisdom, and hope. Hey, Shana, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so excited to have you on today. So we're going to start out, if you can just tell our audience a little bit about yourself. I know that you grew up on a dairy farm on the Pulaski-Lincoln County line in Kentucky. What was that like for you growing up as a child on a farm?
So growing up on a farm as an only child, I'll tell you that I complained a lot. Let's just say that. I complained a lot. I was 5 years old and I would be on a tobacco setter setting tobacco. Yeah. But I look back now and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It taught me a lot about just work ethic. It taught me a lot about appreciating the culture and where I'm from and how I was raised. And so growing up on a farm, it taught me more about life than I would have ever realized it did. So I enjoy it now looking back, and it makes me miss it sometimes.
Yeah. So you just mentioned that growing up, because I was going to ask you that, growing up on a dairy farm as the only child, you mentioned that. You talked about your work ethic. How do you think those experiences on the farm shape like your values and your work ethic?
So growing up on a farm, the value in the work ethic is my dad and my uncle were the two outside of my grandpa who ran it, and they had to have teamwork and they had to make decisions together as a team. Sometimes one would have to take the lead. And so I got to watch that being modeled at a very early age. And then I also got to watch two people run their own business, even though it's not, well, a lot of people would think it was a family farm. And being on a dairy farm, you milk cows 2 times a day. So the only vacation that we ever took was during fall break. And we'd go for 3 or 4 days to down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And we would flip-flop. So me and my mom would help out with the milking while they went on vacation. Then we would flip-flop it the following week. So, growing up, the work ethic was sun up to sundown. And for me, I think part of it has led to going. Because that's what I watched my parents do. Because we raised our own food and everything. So growing up on a farm, it taught me a lot. And it helped me be able to see what teamwork looked like, what it looked like to pull the weight when somebody else needed you to do that as well.
Yeah. So you talked about your family owning a family farm, a small business. And I know you own your own business. Talk about what that was like, that legacy, but also what made you want to be an entrepreneur yourself?
I think it was just always in me as a kid. I always dreamed big. When I was a kid, sometimes those dreams were unrealistic, but I think it was just always in me. I did beauty pageants when I was a teenager. And the first little startup I ever did when I was about 21 was I hosted for about a couple years, my own little pageant system. It wasn't anything big, it wasn't anything major, but it was opportunity to give other girls some time to practice and get prepared for those bigger stages. And so that was like my really first time of doing something on my own. I took the initiative and I did it. So if I get something in my head, I'll just take off and get going. So even though I maybe didn't stay in the farming business, I admired my dad. And I just kind of wanted to be self-sufficient and know that I could do something on my own and make a living. And so I did follow in his steps, just in a different way.
Yeah. So before you came to CAP, and you've been at CAP how long now?
About a year and a half. Almost a year and a half now.
Not quite new. We're gonna call you soon to be a veteran. You're deep dived in the CAP wool now, so no going back for you. But before you came to CAP, you worked in the health and fitness field. So we talked about you starting your own business. That included being a power lifter. So can you tell me about that journey? Because you talked about so you grew up on a farm, you milked cows, did tobacco, you did beauty pageants. Powerlifting, like how does that all come together?
So I was always athletic alongside the pageants. And so when I was 15 years old, we could take an elective for a PE class, and I chose weightlifting. And that is what started the passion, and I never looked back. So for 20 years, I have literally lifted weights.
Yeah.
And I started lifting when I was, like I said, about 15 years old. I started teaching fitness classes at the local YMCA when I was about 18, 19, still a senior in high school, just because I had such a passion to help others and help them live that healthy life. And when I get so passionate about something, I become like a knowledge base. I want to absorb everything for my own self, but then at that point, I gotta pour it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So when I was, I say about 22, I decided that I wanted to pursue being competitive in powerlifting. And for people who don't know what that is, you lift really heavy weights. It's not about how you look or anything like that. It's weight classes, and it comes down to squat, which is a bar that's on your back. You squat down, come back up. Bench press, which most people know what that is. You get on a bench, you press the bar up. And then deadlift, and that's where you grab it from the floor and you come back up with it, and then you come back down. So those are the three main lifts. And so I ended up, after having my son, I decided I wanted to pursue this. And it encouraged me so much. I felt empowered in it. It felt like for the first time in my life, I was actually really, really good at something. That's also how I ended up meeting my husband. But the powerlifting, it evolved into coaching people. It evolved into me jumping into nutrition coaching. It evolved into us actually hosting events for nearly 10 years all across the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it just comes down for me, passion, rather than staying in a certain area.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in there, you skip because you've done a lot of things in that health and fitness space, and part of that was you own your own supplement store. So why was it important for you when you were doing that to help your customers to feel seen and to feel heard? And how do you think those experiences, not only with your store, but with your powerlifting and with the pageants and all of that, how did those experiences shape your approach to helping other people?
So when we did the powerlifting events, I was usually the one that was speaking, doing the interviews, all that kind of stuff. I was the runaround girl. So I'm not a jack of all trades by any means, but I kind of knew a little bit about a lot, and that kind of helped me fill in the gaps where it was needed at these events. And that just helped me be able to stand up and take charge in situations. It would also help me to be able to just shape my mindset around serving people in all different areas. Because when you're serving at a t-shirt table, it's a lot different than being in the judge's seat and let them know, hey, this is why I red lighted you. This is why you did not get this lift. And so it taught me on how to just communicate with so many different people in so many different levels. And so going into owning my own business and running that store, I managed one before that. And so I had decided that I feel like going back to the Somerset area, which is where I literally grew up at, even though I lived 20 minutes north of it. And I always tell people I had to drive to a Walmart. It wasn't like, it was right 5 minutes down the road. So I had drove literally my whole life to Somerset. That's where I got my first apartment. So it was like my secondary hometown. So that's where I felt led to open my own store. And going into that, I never wanted people to think I was a pushy saleswoman. I wanted people to I wanted to meet them where they're at, honestly. And I wanted to hear their stories. As far as their fitness journeys, and sometimes you get a little bit more than that. I wanted to know, are you from here? Have you grew up here? A lot of people in that 2020 era, they was moving there. And I'd ask, well, why'd you move here? Why'd you choose this place? I just built relationships with my customers, honestly. I would get to also get to know them and understand their concerns and what they've tried in the past. That would help me be able to navigate them to products to be able to reach their goal. But on that, I wanted them to truly have knowledge and education about what they were taking, why they were taking it. And it's their choice. They're the ones spending the money. They're going to be the ones using the product. But I would lay it out and be like, there's this, this, and this. And these are why you can take it. This is what I would recommend, but this is your choice. And I would have so trustworthy in me. They'd be like, you just choose for me. So I even got to the point that I could get really descriptive on what protein powders tasted like. Yeah. Because at some point I had tried like all of them. And we also had a motto, try before you buy. So we'd give people the opportunity to try protein powders in a liquid form before they would actually commit buying that. So it just shaped me over the years to really just be able to communicate and meet people from all different backgrounds, all different walks, and just to build that trust.
Yeah. I know we're going to get to talk about Steppingstones, and I can see already like where those skills and how God was using and equipping you. But before I get ahead of myself, you ultimately became a faith-based health and nutrition coach. So tell me more about that, and why was that important for you to align faith and health together?
So even though I've been in the health and fitness field professionally on and off for like 10 years, I had not always had a healthy relationship with food. Yeah. Even though I was a comparative power lifter and the numbers looked great, I was never satisfied with the numbers. I was never satisfied with myself, my body, and I did not have a healthy relationship with food. And so when I truly gave my life over to the Lord, He actually healed that aspect of me. Yeah. And even though I had all this knowledge, I would cry out to God and say, why can't I apply this to myself in a consistent way? And it was because I was not fully healed. And I decided that if people put their faith and make that put their faith in the Lord and make that the foundation of their health, mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. Then they could find freedom, because food is something that we need. Exercise is not punishment. Right. We should enjoy, moving. We should enjoy fueling our body. And so I became a Christian health coach after I had gave my life to the Lord, after He truly just set me free and healed me from one of the areas, of course, that I struggled in, and that was a healthy relationship with myself, food, and my body. And I know a lot of people are shocked when they hear that, because of how successful, not just me, but many people in our powerlifting team was. Yeah. Because the thing, you don't always know what's going on the inside with somebody. Yeah. And I wanted to teach people. I wanted to support them. I wanted to coach them and let them know, like, you can live a healthy lifestyle, and it doesn't have to look a certain way. And even though this person does this and these steps, does not mean that you have to take that same path. And so it was optional for many people, but most people was so willing to try to put their faith into their health journey and see what the new outcome would be.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. So tell me then, what led you to pursue your position at CAB? Because it sounds like God was really speaking to you in a lot of different ways, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe He was preparing you. But can you tell me, how did you know it was the right next step for you to make that transition?
So it would have been early last year, so early 24. I started having a heart shift. That's all it was. The desires of my heart was changing. I still wanted to help people, and I still wanted to serve people, but there had just been so many changes also in the supplement field in general, just owning your own, not the owning your own business part, but just that field. It was, ever since 2020, things went very digital. Things was just rapidly moving at paces that we almost couldn't, as a small business owner, could not even keep up with. So it was hard, because I'm the type of person, when I build something, it's really hard for me to just let go of it. Yeah. But I started feeling a heart shift. And my whole thing is, I want to glorify God in everything that I do. I want to obey Him, not worry about what anybody else thinks. I want to obey Him. And as I kind of had a heart shift, I started finding myself wanting to move from customer service and sales in the fitness field, completely just cutting it right down the middle. No more. We're not doing that. And shift, honestly, I literally felt human services. I felt that is where He was leading me to. And so I prayed about it. I prayed one bold prayer of, Lord, if you want me to completely move out of this store, because originally this is my mindset. Keep the store open, hire somebody, let them run it. I'll just oversee it while I go do this, because in my head it was moving towards like a professional full-time ministry in a way.
Yeah.
And so here I was wanting the balance. That's not what the Lord wanted me to do. And I realized that now there is no way that would have been possible. And so I prayed very boldly, Lord, if you want me to make a move and completely uproot everything that I have built, and I did build it alongside of him. I just wasn't that close to him yet.
Yeah.
I said, I will, but make it happen. If you want this door to close, you make it close. And the numbers financially just never hit like they were supposed to. We always would have a decline. We have a busy season, just like every program at CAP has a busy season. We had a busy season. And the low season got really low. And I was like, this is a normal trend. So I had to make a decision, and I made a decision to close the doors, because I never wanted anything to get too far, because at this point, I'd already gotten on Indeed. I felt led to. Mm-hmm. I found the caseworker position for family advocacy. I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. And I had applied there. I'll be honest with you. I had applied a few places that was human service based, but that was my number one choice. That's where my heart was being led to. Nobody else called me at CAP.
Yeah.
And so I also pray, Lord, wherever you want me to go, because I'll make the wrong decision. I'm fleshly. You open that door, you make that way. And so I closed that store actually after I had like one interview. I did not think I was going to get the position. And I just trusted God that even if that didn't work out, something would work out. Something would come forth. Yeah. Because I knew from the boldness of those prayers and what was going on in the trends of the store that he did want me to cut it off and to leave. Don't sell it. Don't pass it. Just, they're fine. Leave. Go. And within a month of closing my store, I started at CAP.
There you go. And here you are.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your generosity has a direct and positive impact in the lives of people in need in Appalachia every day. It is the unwavering support of faithful friends like you that make this work possible. Many of our supporters are beginning to plan and envision what kind of legacy they want to leave to support the causes that are near and dear to their hearts. CAP is happy to provide a safe and easy experience for people to create a will and support CAP through non-cash gifts. Through our partnership with Free Will, CAP offers our donors the ability to create a will online and alter it at no charge. Our partnership with Free Will also includes their Smart Giving Suite, which allows donors to give through their IRA, donor advised funds, and stock online, in addition to creating a will for free. In recent years, Appalachia has faced unrelenting challenges, including the pandemic, inflation, and back-to-back natural disasters. You can make a life-changing impact and leave a legacy of hope in Appalachia. To learn more about non-cash giving opportunities, please visit christianapp.org/more ways to give.
So let's talk Steppingstones. You're the caseworker for Steppingstones. Can you tell us the idea behind Steppingstones, and how did this whole new initiative for CAP come about?
So as far as the whole initiative with CAP, that was absolutely not me. From what I've heard in the past through the Director of Human Services and Vice President, that it was something that was years in the making. It was an idea that they had brought forth from just trends that they, I guess, had seen with participants, and how they wanted to go forth into helping people in this community. And for me, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know that's what I was getting into, but it was totally meant to be. And as far as Steppingstones, the desire and the goal of it is to help people reach their goals, to have a better future. And that can look very, very individualized.
Yeah. So tell me, because we've just, spent time talking about your own journey, because it sounds like a total blueprint for Steppingstones. And so how does that make you feel to know like God was ordering your steps and allowing you to develop and have those skills that now you're applying to a place that at a time I'm sure you couldn't imagine, because the program didn't even exist?
Yeah, because when I got into the interview process and details started coming forth, because I'm one that I'll ask a lot of questions, and I want to know the details. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm like, this sounds like everything the Lord has been putting on my heart. But if I would have stayed where I was at, there's no way I could have done everything he's put on my heart. But I could hear. And so I remember having that aha moment, probably, I don't know, it might have been the first week that I got here, to be honest with you. That first week, I just was in awe, like, is this really happening? Like, you just got to trust God and go, because he don't always give you everything, even though I might want all the answers.
Yeah.
And I trust him, and I went, and it just unfolded. And I was like, wow, so many things that I was led to do, or so many experiences or positions I had held, the desires and the passions I had before literally equipped me and led me to this moment. And I still step back and think about that sometimes. And I know my manager will be like, well, you're made for this. And I'm like, maybe. But if I sit down and think about it, he really, if you let him lead these steps, you'll be really surprised by where he puts you at.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about your first participant. Who was it? Like, what was the thing that you helped them to do, and how did you get connected?
So it was honestly just within the first month. It was like the end of the first month of me being here. And we hadn't really launched it. I was still getting accustomed. It was school readiness season. And we get a phone call comes in by the lady who was with me, who's now retired. And it was just somebody simply needing steps and help with GED. They wanted to obtain their GED, and they didn't really know how to get started. And I just helped that person walk through those steps. And then I helped that person and that participant get enrolled into college, get accepted and get enrolled. Yeah. And so it was a simple process, but it was amazing. And it was, of course, like I said, it was my first go around, and I was like, oh, here we go. And so we started rocking and rolling and going with it.
There you go. So why do you believe a program like Steppingstones is especially important in CAP's service area?
I think it's really important because for me, like when I used to meet my customers in my store and just meet them where they're at, pass no judgment on their journey. Because sometimes we can look at people and think, well, they've got it all together. I don't really know where to go. I don't know how to ask for help. With Steppingstones, we're right there. We're going to meet them where they're at. We're going to listen to their story, and we're going to do what we can to navigate them in the right direction to reach the goals that they want and they desire. And so with me, it's just about meeting them where they're at, not passing no judgment, letting them know, hey, listen, I was a single mom one time and I was broke. And it just comes down to accountability and support. That, I think, is the biggest thing, is for people to have support in this area. Because again, just like me, and people didn't understand my background and my story of my health journey, I don't know where these people's been. I don't know what struggles they've had. I'm not going to judge them. I'm just going to meet them where they're at. Yeah. So I think it's really important because it's not touching base. We get down into it with them. We form really close relationships, and it's people that we end up we deeply care about them on all levels.
So how has your personal story influenced your perspective on giving people that second chance when life maybe sometimes takes an unexpected turn?
So it's just taught me to give grace. And I've really learned that through Christ, to be honest with you. Because going back to what I just previously said and restating that, we don't know what people's went through. We don't know the hardships they've faced. And from my own journey, I stayed quiet for a long time. I never would speak up and ask for help, whether it was financial help, whether it was help with my son. I may not have had the same struggle as somebody else that I may be talking with or going to potentially work with, but I understand the emotions and the feelings of those struggles and what it can do to somebody emotionally or mentally. And I know what it feels like to feel isolated, alone, discouraged. So rather than going off of the experiences, when I look at my past and what I've went through, I go off of the perspective of what are they feeling right now? What is their thought process? And I can be like, I've not been in your shoes in that situation, but I know exactly what you're feeling like right now because the emotion has been the same.
Yeah. So I know that you all come alongside sometimes people that are incarcerated, sometimes people may be on the verge of homelessness, as you mentioned, someone that's trying to get a GED or trying to figure out how to navigate college applications, helping veterans. Like there's so much. The program is really young, but you all have stepped into a lot of situations. So talk a little bit to me about some ways in which you help folks who are incarcerated and how they make that transition and how you come alongside them to see them and value them and help them maybe navigate all of that so they can have a good, healthy start to that new second chance. So
as far as like, for example, like incarceration, or maybe somebody who is just come out of the recovery or rehab, spectrum. As far as the jail system in particular, I already had a personal connection there to begin with through ministry. But I had thought, well, our jailer is really amazing about Jesus, let's just say. He has a lot of church there. I'm like, if this person is so caring and so passionate and wants to achieve change and transformation in people's lives, surely he would want reform. Yeah. So I did. I set up a meeting and I talked to him about Steppingstones again. It was very new. And I had my goal going in was just to provide him this information and say, if you've got somebody that's coming out that maybe would be interested in a program like this, provide them my information, or you give me a call and I'll meet with them, not necessarily in the jail, just in general. Yeah. And he's like, well, we actually have this. He was so excited to tell me. He's like, and you'll have to come and be a part of it. They have a pre-release class that happens every other month with other people in the community, as far as other organizations, to help let these people know these are your resources. We want to help you be successful. And so I got to be a part of that. I can't go to every single one, but I try to go to every one that I can, because you never know. You may speak to 20 inmates, but even if there's just that one that decides to take up the offer of, I think I would like this. I need a different path. Can you help me reach those goals? So we have such a personal relationship now with the jailer and his employees, that if we do have somebody that is in that system and they need to talk to us prior to release before getting out, we can always set that opportunity up through them and advocate for them if needed, talk to what their goals is for when they do get out. Because, for example, if somebody wants to get a job, we can go ahead and get them a resume made, so that way they can get going as soon as they get out. So it just comes down to the fact that they have so much love and grace that they do want to see reform. That's the only reason we even have that opportunity to go and try to make a difference. So it's not something that we're always doing on a regular basis, but just as needed. Yeah. Now, you mentioned the resume, and I believe that there is a story of you all helping someone write a resume. I think it's one of those like simple things that we think, well, of course, everybody has a resume, but how those things can be barriers to getting employment. Can you talk about like helping someone see like the jobs that they have had, that they do have experiences maybe that they didn't think, and like just something as simple as a resume? Can you share a little bit of maybe someone you've worked with that, or what are the steps to helping someone just put together a resume that can go in and actually apply for a job? Yeah, I had a lady who was older than me, and she had never had a resume in her life. And I'll just show you real quickly, after we created that resume and left the library, she's like, my whole life is changing. She was so excited over a simple resume. Yeah. But when I go down, and I've done it many times for many participants, but as I sat down, I'm like, listen, I want to type it up. You just tell me your work experience. You tell me the skills. And when I go and I do a little section about their skills, I'll be like, well, you worked at this fast food place. Okay. So obviously you've got time management. You're able to shift your speed from fast pace to slow pace. You're able, you're obviously organized, cleanliness. So I said, I try to pull out what positions they've had, and I'll start asking, well, what did you do there? And as we go through the conversation of the positions they've had, what they've done, we're able to pull out and bullet point skill sets. And I will make it sound good. I do not make it not sound like them, but I do make it sound very good and very presentable and professional. And so they always get to proofread it and read it and make sure it's exactly what they want. We keep it very professional and simple, but if they want like a little line under their name that has a little bit of a color, we'll do that. Because I want it to be theirs, and then we'll just sit here. We'll print off, however many copies they need. And I also tell them, because nowadays there's a lot of digital applications. I said, if you have it here in hand, you ain't gotta be scrambling to find the phone numbers and find the app. It's right here. So all you do is put the information in and go.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about what does it mean to you to witness transformations that you see happening through Steppingstones?
I'm not very much of an emotional person, but when I see people truly not giving up, because I mean, we have participants just like ourselves. Every single one of us, we're human. We get down sometimes.
Yeah.
It's all about overcoming. And when I watch the personal transformations, it moves me so much because I'm like, wow, they've grown as a person, or their skills has grown, their mindset has shifted. To think that I mean, I know that change is possible. Anything through Christ is possible. But to witness firsthand the change that has happened in people's life just through somebody supporting them, it's what keeps me going, because I love stepping stones. It can be up and down emotionally sometimes. But when you have those moments of seeing people be successful and seeing just that increase in them, it's worth it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So what advice would you give to someone who they feel called to make maybe a major life change and they want to follow their passion or feel led by their faith? What advice to help them make that first step?
I would absolutely pray. Be in prayer over it. Maybe if you do attend a church, tell those ladies or those gentlemen in that group, hey, I've got a big decision that I'm trying to make. Don't got to go into detail. The Lord knows.
Yeah.
Ask them to pray with you. Ask them to pray over you. I always tell people, you'll know when the Lord is shifting. And, if you are wanting to make a change, if you are wanting to make a transition, ask yourself, do I want to, or does the Lord want me to? Because it's not always comfortable and it's not always easy. And I'm one of those why girls. Why? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I want to make this move? And just for me as an example, when I made that move, it was comfortable but uncomfortable because I had to let go of something to gain something else.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is what we have to do if we want an increase or a change. We have to be able to let go.
Yeah.
And through those transitions and changes, you learn a lot about your own self too. So if there's anybody who is listening that does feel like the Lord is trying to move them to make a change, or they're wanting to go with their passion, your passion does not have to be a title. It can simply be a skill that you have and something that you do or something that you're giving back. I've always had a desire to help people, and I've done that my whole life. It just looks differently. Yeah. So the assignment changes, and don't be afraid of the assignment changing. Take the leap of faith and, like Peter, step out of the boat. Step out of the boat and have faith. Pray, seek his guidance, seek his kingdom first, and he'll direct those paths.
There you go. I love it. What is your hope for Steppingstones in the years to come?
Well, of course, I'm a dreamer. So my hopes is that it's just going to continue to grow. I know maybe other people maybe don't. I mean, I'm sure everybody wants that. We all want our programs to grow. My hope and my dream, to be on a serious level, though, is I really want to see it expand. I want to see it to reach as many people as it can, to impact as many people as we can, as far as within our capacities. So I hope to see positive growth in so many different forms.
Yeah. So Steppingstones definitely demonstrates the resilience of people who call Appalachia home. What do you wish more people outside the region knew about what it means to be from Appalachia?
So it's tradition. It's tradition. It is just the heritage that you carry with you. When I think of Appalachia, I think of my grandparents. Yeah. They came from the Letcher County area. And for me, growing up on a dairy farm, that's how they lived. They grew everything that they had. They grew up in hollers. It was the traditions of getting together with your family. And my mother was the one that would wash the jars when they would can stuff. She had to be the jar washer as a kid. Well, obviously now she's not. She does it herself. It's those traditions that you pass down, everything from the holidays to the work ethic to learning how to survive even when you don't have a lot. Because I grew up with my dad is a dairy farmer, and then my mother was a school bus driver. Yeah. I didn't come from, a ton of money. Yeah. I came from work ethic. I came from traditions. And so the Appalachian region, first off, is beautiful.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Every aspect of it's gorgeous. But it's the traditions. It's the traditions of family, of faith, and just staying together and staying strong when the times do get hard.
Yeah. So I love that in thinking about, especially as we're getting ready to go into the holiday season and traditions and family and being together. And I know that Steppingstones is a part of a larger program at CAP Family Advocacy that we haven't really talked about. So as we get ready to wrap up, talk to us a little bit about what family advocacy, like how does this piece fit in, but what are the other ways that you come alongside families in Appalachia?
So within family advocacy, we have the three components. We have Steppingstones, and it, of course, goes all year. And then we have school readiness and Christmas. So school readiness, we simply help the school resource officers with families as far as school clothing and then also with school supplies. Now with Christmas time, we have a Christmas basket program, and we will have two different distributions where we will actually help the families provide gifts for their children at Christmas time. And I love it because we'll have a service where we have music and we're going to serve them and feed them. So we're going to feed them spiritually and also with food physically. And then, of course, we're going to send them home with gifts. And so we help just kind of fill that gap at Christmas time to take a little bit of pressure off those parents. Because, again, I know what that's like. I've had to be a part of programs when I was younger and my child was younger. To help fill those gaps. And I remember looking back and I was so thankful for it. And a lot of times it was more of a blessing than what I realized it was going to be. So I love the shop. and so that kind of helps me a little bit at Christmas time because I love gift giving. Yeah. And the fact that I get to fill so many Christmas boxes for kids. I'll be honest with you. I'll share this story with you. I think it was last week or week before last. I had just finished putting some of the gifts I had bought in the back of the van. I got a little emotional. Like I said, I'm not a very emotional person. It's just these odd moments. And I thought, man, all these are going to go to kids that's going to put a smile on their face. And I'm so thankful for that program.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great Christmas story. And I know people will be listening to this as we go into the holidays. And I hope think back on the sort of the gratitude. We could not do what we do without the generosity of donors and supporters, and even folks that just pray for the work of Christian Appalachian Project. And so, believe it or not, we've gotten to the end of our episode. It flies by so quickly, but I never let a guest leave without asking them this question. So my last question, Shana, is, the mission statement of CAP, Christian Appalachian Project, is building hope, transforming lives, and sharing Christ's love through service in Appalachia. So when you think of those four words, hope, transformation, love, and service, which one do you think embodies the Appalachian spirit the most?
Love. I think it's love just because, going back to the Bible, it says love covers a multitude of sin. Jesus told us to love our Lord our God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. And so when you look at love is not conditional. Love is something that can be sacrificial at times. It's more than just a feeling. Love is an action, and love is how we serve. It's how we give hope. And then in return, that's how we see lives get changed and transformed.
Awesome. Shana, it's been a pure pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and for the work that you all are doing through Steppingstones to help our neighbors embrace a fresh start. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Our guest today has been Shana Miller. She coordinates Steppingstones for Christian Appalachian Project, which helps individuals set and achieve transformative life goals through personalized support and community partnerships. We thank you so much for listening to another season of the Mountain Spirit Podcast. This wraps up season 9. I know you can't believe it because I can't believe it. You can follow the work of Christian Appalachian Project on all social media channels and find the show on christianapp.org/podcast or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You know the deal. If you like the show, please follow, rate, and review so that other folks can find the show too and learn more about what's going on in Appalachia. And if you will, please share this episode with a friend and help us amplify the stories of hope that is taking roots across the region. This wraps up season 9. We will kick off season 10 in February. But in the off season, we invite you to listen to past episodes and share it with the folks in your life. And feel free to send us some ideas of potential guests that you like that are making a difference in Appalachia. Thank you for joining us for another season of the Mountain Spirit Podcast. We'll see you in February, and please enjoy your family and friends this Christmas season.